This story is based on a true event. For friends set out for a simple fishing trip and ended up trapped in a deadly storm. The story begins with NFL player Marquee Cooper. He is training with his coach, Nick. His NFL teammate, Corey Smith, is there as well. Between them, it is more than just a coach and player relationship. They share a real friendship. Later, they all sit down for dinner with their families. That is when their former NFL teammate, Will, joins them. Will reveals that he has just been fired from his job. He is clearly feeling low. Seeing this, the four men decide to cheer him up. They plan a deep-sea fishing trip for Saturday. Saturday morning arrives. Will goes to wake up Nick. He has prepared 40 sandwiches for everyone. Nick puts on the bright orange jacket his mom gave him. His wife, Paula, reminds him to take Dramamine. Nick suffers from motion sickness, but Nick brushes it off. He says he will be fine. Nick and Will arrive at Corey's place. They are about to head out in a small boat. Nick notices something strange. Marquee has already packed all his belongings. The moving company is coming tomorrow. Marquee is tired of doing this every year. Nick jokes that he would trade lives with him instantly. But Marquee has grown deeply attached to this place. He loves fishing here. Oakland, where he is moving to, has nothing like this. Marquee says goodbye to his wife and daughter. Then he heads out for fishing. They arrive at the seaside. Marquee mentions that a storm is heading their way, but he believes they will be back before it arrives. They seal their phones inside plastic bags. A few miles out, there will be no service anyway. Will asks if they have a radio. Marquee confirms that they do. The four men head out into the Gulf of Mexico. Meanwhile, Nick's mom leaves him a voicemail. She says she just wants to make sure he has seen the weather report. She asks him to call her back. She also calls Nick's dad. She warns him about the storm and about Nick going fishing. Out on the ocean, Nick has no idea his dad is calling. They are busy fishing. Music is playing. Everything feels normal. Within minutes, Nick begins to feel motion sick. They drop anchor at Marquee's favorite fishing spot. They start fishing and talking. Then the weather suddenly begins to change. They realize they need to leave. Right now, Corey starts pulling up the anchor, but it is stuck. The anchor has caught on a shipwreck at the bottom of the ocean. No matter how hard Corey pulls, it will not move. Everyone grabs the rope. They pull together. All their effort is useless. Corey comes up with an idea. He turns on the boat. He tries using the engine's power to pull the anchor free. At first, it seems like it might work. Then the front of the boat begins to lift. Suddenly, a massive wave crashes into them. The boat flips over. All four men are thrown into the water. They swim back to the boat. They try to flip it upright. First, they try from different sides. Then all four push from the same side. Nothing works. That is when Will speaks up. He says they need to cut the anchor line. It is the only thing holding them down. Marquee dives underwater. He grabs the anchor line and brings it back up. Using the boat's propeller, he starts cutting through it. Everyone holds on to each other, afraid that one slip could pull them all under. The weather keeps getting worse. Back on shore, Paula watches the weather report. Her fear grows with every update. She tries calling Nick again, but all she can do is leave another voicemail. 5 hours pass. They are still unable to flip the boat. Slowly, the truth sets in. The boat is not going to turn back over. Inside the overturned boat, there are coolers, food, water, and life jackets, but they are trapped inside. Someone will have to dive down and get them. Corey goes first. He takes off his t-shirt to swim more easily. Nick thinks it is a bad idea. Corey dives down. Moments later, he resurfaces, holding one life jacket. There are more down there. Will dives next. He brings up another life jacket. There are also flares inside. Marquee dives down one more time and retrieves a flare. Just then, they see a ship passing nearby. They start screaming, waving their arms, yelling with everything they have left. Nick quickly lights the flare. They hold it up high, trying to catch the ship's attention, but the ship does not notice them. It keeps moving forward and slowly disappears. Everyone feels defeated. That is when Nick remembers something. His backpack. Inside it are everyone's cell phones. Back on shore, Paula speaks with Nick's mom. They still have not heard from the men. Paula says they need to call someone. Nick dives down again. He retrieves the backpack. He tries calling 911. Nothing. This far out at sea, there is no service. And in less than 30 minutes, the storm will be right on top of them. On shore, a police officer notices something unusual. A pickup truck parked by the ocean. He runs the license plate. Moments later, the Coast Guard is alerted. Out on the water, a powerful wave slams into the men. It knocks all of them off the boat. They struggle back. One by one, they climb on again. Marquee begins to shiver. He is getting cold. Suddenly, they hear it. The sound of a massive wave approaching. The wave crashes into them, throwing them into the water once more. They scream out to each other, asking where the boat is. For a moment, no one can see anything. Then Corey spots it. He calls everyone over. But in the chaos, something goes wrong. Will's leg gets cut. Blood spreads through the water. At the Coast Guard station, Captain Timothy Close receives updates. He tells his team to stay alert. The 4 men have now been lost at sea for 10 hours. Corey tries to keep everyone motivated. He tells them to stay strong. But Marquee's condition keeps getting worse. He can barely hear. His body feels numb. He looks at Nick and says, something is happening to me. He says if this is where it ends, then this is where it is supposed to happen. Marquee is suffering from hypothermia. He needs body heat. Paula's fear keeps growing. She continues leaving voicemails for Nick, one after another. Then Marquee's wife, Rebecca, calls her. She is terrified too. She says she is about to call the Coast Guard herself. 20 hours have now passed. 20 hours since the men were lost at sea. Marquee's condition has deteriorated severely. They even light a flare, trying to use its heat to warm him up. But Marquee is slipping away. He starts saying something disturbing. Let me go. Back on shore, the coastal chief finally receives word. 4 men went out to sea. When he hears about the size of their boat, his concern deepens immediately. For large men, in a tiny fishing boat, caught in a massive storm, and their fishing spot was 70 miles offshore. The chief explains that nothing is worse than dying from hypothermia, especially for people in excellent physical shape. With very little body fat, the body starts shutting down. Veins constrict to protect the heart. Blood becomes poisoned with seawater. Motor function fails. Oxygen levels drop. Hallucinations begin. Confusion. Rage. Exactly what is happening to Marquee. He no longer responds, even when his friends try to help him. The chief upgrades their status from alert to distress. A helicopter is launched. A jet is sent into the air. Out on the water, the men drink rainwater, trying to survive however they can. Corey's condition is also getting worse. Above them, the Coast Guard searches, but visibility is terrible. They cannot see the surface of the water. They decide to fly lower. Paula rushes to Rebecca's house. Rebecca is searching desperately. She looks for Marquee's old GPS, the one that might still have the coordinates of his favorite fishing spot. Chief Timothy receives updates from his pilots. They cannot see anything. Without a target, this search is impossible. The weather is getting worse. They may have to ground the aircraft. The chief calls Rebecca. He tells her they cannot stay in the air much longer. Then suddenly, Paula finds the GPS. They turn it on. Coordinates appear on the screen. They immediately relay them to the chief. He sends the coordinates to his aircraft. They will reach that location in 5 minutes. Out on the water, Marquee is passed out. Nick is holding onto him. Will is helping Corey. Then a wave crashes over them. Nick is pulled underwater. Will grabs the rope tied to Marquee, but it slips from his hands. Marquee drifts away, vanishing into the dark water. Nick screams his name, but it is too late. At the same time, Corey begins to fade as well. Then suddenly, they see it. An aircraft flying overhead. From the aircraft above, nothing is visible. Just darkness. Just chaos. Nick pulls out the flashlight he has with him. He turns it on, hoping the Coast Guard will see it. But from the sky, they see nothing. The storm keeps getting worse. The chief is forced to make a call. He orders the aircraft to turn back. Just then, one officer thinks he sees something. A brief flash of light. He is not sure. They scan the water one last time. Still nothing. The light is dismissed. They assume it was just refraction. Lightning hitting the water. The aircraft head back. Below, another massive wave crashes, throwing everyone underwater again. Back on shore, Paula and Rebecca get the update. The planes have returned. They are told the search will resume once the storm clears. They look at each other and say the same thing. We have to believe everything is going to be okay. Chief Timothy reminds his team, daylight is coming, and daylight changes everything. He also alerts the USS Tornado. Now the search will continue by sea. The entire crew is ordered to stay alert, eyes on the water at all times. In storms like this, electronics fail. Human eyes matter most. Back in the water, Nick and will realize something. Corey is gone. They scream his name again and again, but there is no response. Will finally speaks. He says they were bigger than us, stronger than us, better than us, and this still beat them. Nick responds quietly. He says they had no body fat, and that made it worse. Then he looks down at himself. I have this big stupid jacket on. It is completely soaked, but it is still giving me a little warmth. That is why we need to wrap you up. Nick says they have to get something from the boat, but Will refuses. He does not want to dive again. Then suddenly, they see them. 3 sharks circling nearby, and Will is bleeding. Will's sandwiches float on the surface, the same ones he made that morning. He reaches for them, but they drift away. Soon, the news breaks. All 4 men are officially missing. Another wave slams into Nick and Will. They are thrown off the boat again. They climb back up. Immediately, another wave hits, knocking them down once more. They are exhausted, broken by the endless cycle. Nick spots a rope near the propeller. He grabs it. He looks at Will. "Tie yourself to the boat. We have to stay connected." They wrap the rope around themselves and secure it tightly. No matter what happens next, they are not letting go. Back at Coast Guard headquarters, Nick's mom arrives. She is frantic, demanding answers. "Why is nobody out there looking for my son and his friends?" The chief tells her the truth. Over 100 people are involved in the search, but the weather is too dangerous. He cannot send pilots back into the air. Doing so would risk their lives. Nick's mom asks the question no parent wants to ask. "Is my son dead?" The chief does not answer. Instead, he asks her quietly, "Do you believe that?" She looks at him and says no. Out on the water, Nick and Will climb back onto the boat, using the rope they tied earlier. Then they hear it. Another helicopter. They scream, wave their arms, beg to be seen, but the helicopter passes by. It cannot see them. Exhaustion takes over. Both men begin to feel sleepy. Will's condition worsens. He makes a decision. He is going to dive down for food. Nick tries to untie himself, but he cannot. Will tells him to stay up and dives down alone. He comes back with a drink and a small packet of pretzels. They share it, slowly chewing. Then suddenly, Will sees something ahead. Land. Nick looks again. He sees it too. They pull out their phones. Try calling 911. Still no service. Nick hesitates. He asks the question out loud. How do we know this is not a hallucination? Will shakes his head. How can we both see the same thing? They decide to swim toward it, but as they move forward, nothing is there. Instead, the current pulls them apart. They lose sight of each other. They lose sight of the boat. By sheer luck, with the last of their strength, both men manage to swim back. Back at headquarters, Chief Timothy listens to updates. No one has found anything. 30 hours have passed. 30 hours lost at sea. Will goes quiet. Then he speaks. He says he is thinking about his funeral, about what people will say. He has given up. He mutters regret after regret, saying if he had married his ex, she would have never allowed this trip. He begins to cry. Then he looks at Nick. "Can you tell my parents?" Nick answers firmly. "You are going to tell them yourself." But Will starts fading, repeating the same words. "Tell my mom. Tell my mom." His body grows hot, just like Corey, just like Marquee. Nick grabs him, trying to hold him. A wave crashes, pulling Will away. Nick yanks the rope, dragging him back. Then another wave hits, and this time, Will is gone. Nick is left alone on the overturned boat. He breaks down, sobbing uncontrollably. Both Coast Guard aircraft have returned, but the chief refuses to let anyone give up. He looks at his team and says something they all need to hear. Hope. Hope is the strongest thing we have. On the USS Tornado, the sailors keep searching, even after they are told to stop. Just a few more minutes. Back on shore, Paula leaves Nick another voicemail. Her voice is breaking. "I hope you are okay, but I am starting to think I might never see you again, and that hurts." She steps outside and hugs Nick's mom, both of them crying. Nick's mom whispers something quietly. I can feel that he is still out there. Out in the ocean, Nick is clinging to the boat's propeller. Slowly, he regains consciousness. He lifts his head and sees something behind him. A ship with everything he has left. He raises his arm and waves, but no sound comes out of his mouth anymore. For a moment, he thinks about swimming toward it. Then he stops. At the same time, far away on land, his wife and his mother look up at the sky, talking to him, begging him to hold on. Out there alone, Nick is thinking about them too. He adjusts his bag, sits quietly back on the overturned boat. As the next day arrives, memories flood his mind, one by one. His friends, their laughter, their voices, their deaths. He breaks down. Nick unties the rope that binds him to the boat. He has given up. Then suddenly, someone sees him. A sailor aboard the USS Tornado spots a figure in the water. Chief Timothy reacts instantly. He sends a helicopter to the location. Nick opens his eyes and sees it. Help! The Coast Guard reaches him. They lift him up from the water. Nick is airlifted to safety. Relief washes over the crew. They are overwhelmed with joy. As soon as they learn his name, they make the call and inform his family. But the Coast Guard does not stop searching. For 3 more days, They look for the others. They find nothing, not even their bodies. Only one man survived. Nick, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this recap, make sure to subscribe to Cinevoice. Hit the bell icon to stay updated and enjoy the journey.